Well, good morning, South Mississippi, and happy Sunday morning. It's going to be a pretty nice day overall. Forecast very similar to what we saw yesterday, but we are going to be covering quite a few different topics here today. We're going to be looking at the forecast for today, a little bit of a look at the week ahead, as well as an update on the tropics. The good news is that there are no concerns for us here in South Mississippi at this time, but we are going to go ahead and go a little bit more in depth and see what else is going on out in the tropics as we move into the more active part of the season. It's the Hancock Whitney camera over in Gulfport right now. Things look pretty nice out there. We do have some blue skies in some spots, so developing a little bit of cloud cover in other spots, but overall we're looking at a really nice forecast for today. Very similar to how we started out yesterday. Starting off the morning nice and sunny, a little bit on the warmer side, and then developing showers and storms as we went into the afternoon hours. Very similar to what we're going to see today. Feels like temperature or heat index about those mid-80s right now. So the humidity just slightly lower than the past several days. And we did have that cold front pass yesterday, and it has now stalled out. It's well offshore at the moment. Here's speaking of, here's where that boundary currently is. We do have quite a few showers and storms associated with that. And now those are continuing to move off mainly to our east. But if you have plans to be out on the waters today or later today, then especially if you're going to go beyond the barrier islands, if you're going out beyond the Chandelier Sound, you do want to be a little cautious of scattered showers and storms that will be capable of producing waterspouts. So we definitely had many of those storms present earlier this morning. It's possible some may redevelop as you go into the afternoon hours. Zooming in on South Mississippi, you can see radar all clear at the moment. We haven't really developed much of that activity yet, but as we go into the afternoon hours, well, there's a good chance that we will. Now, we do have a slightly lower chance of picking up those showers and storms, at least less than what we saw yesterday in terms of the number of storms and the coverage, but we still can't rule out at least one or two of them becoming strong. Gusty winds, as well as the potential for very heavy rainfall or frequent lightning with at least one or two of these storms. So we'll have to keep an eye out. Just always remember, when thunder roars, get indoors, and usually you want to stay inside for about 20 minutes or so after you hear that last rumble of thunder. Then it is safe to go ahead and return outdoors. Of course, if you don't get much rain or cloud cover, then you will be seeing the potential for temperatures to be up in the lower 90s. Some of us, maybe even a heat index around 100, maybe even a little bit more than that. So also stay hydrated if you're going to be out there. Futurecast for the rest of today. So like we just talked about, the chance for at least a few scattered showers or storms. They do look to be a lot more numerous and more heavy as you work our way to our east over into Alabama and Florida. But once again, we can't rule out at least a few of them showing up here in South Mississippi. That daylight heating can really get things going. We saw that happen yesterday with a few stronger storms showing up on the coast and quickly moving and really not moving at all. Stationary, but they don't last very long, many lasting around 20 to 30 minutes at a time. Rain chances. Now, as we go into the rest of the week, we do have the potential for some higher rainfall totals. That low pressure system developing there on the stalled boundary we saw earlier will start to move back up to the north, bringing higher rain chances with it. Now, most of that does look to be on the other side of the low pressure system. Just like any low, you have a kind of a more rainy side and a much more dry side. It does look like, for the most part, South Mississippi will remain on the drier side of this system. However, we can't rule out, just because of how close it is, can't really rule out the potential for at least some, if not multiple, of these showers and storms entering the area, some of which could put down that pretty heavy rainfall. So we're going to keep rain chances a little bit higher. In terms of the actual rainfall totals, here's what it looks like as we go through the week. Once again, most of that rainfall well off to our east, about 3 to 5 inches for areas like Panama City over in the Florida Panhandle, portions of south central Alabama, south central Georgia. Those could definitely get those much higher rainfall totals. Here in South Mississippi, about 1 to 3 inches. Now that's a lot of variability in there. because, of course, maybe you could get less than that if you don't really see much of those pop-up showers or storms, or you could even get more if we get a single storm to go ahead and stall out and just dump a lot of rain in one spot. Well, then maybe you go over 2 to 3 inches as you go through, especially the early and middle parts of this week. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that, just like the past several weeks, just kind of a wait and see where those storms end up firing up, if they do, here in South Mississippi, or if everything stays off to our east. We'll continue to just watch that closely as we head through Monday and Tuesday. The good news is that the higher temperatures and the low pressure nearby will keep our temperatures a little bit lower. Monday, Tuesday, we could have multiple days there where we are in the 80s in the afternoon. That would be really nice compared to the past several days, but then Wednesday, Thursday, we go right back to our normal summertime pattern: scattered showers, a few storms, and temperatures in the lower 90s, heat index values in the triple digits, right back to what we are much more used to. Now, tracking the tropics, so we do have a couple disturbances out there, 2 to be exact. Now, once again, none of these are a major concern for us, not really a concern for us at all here in South Mississippi, but we're going to go ahead and talk about them. Of course, we are starting to approach that much more active period of the hurricane season, so let's just go ahead and see what's going on out there. Disturbance number 1 there in the orange, medium chance of development. That, as of this morning, has now been marked as Invest 95L. The difference between the disturbance and an Invest, not much really. It just gives us the ability to you run some more close forecast models on it. It allows, if the hurricane hunters would like to fly missions, it allows them to start planning and plotting those out. And it also marks a zone for the National Hurricane Center to go ahead and be much more focused on, focus more resources towards. So overall, not much of a change going from disturbance to invest, but just something to note there: medium chance of development. Of course, disturbance 2, very low chance of development because it actually has not even left the African coast yet, and I'll get right back to that. But let's go ahead, Invest 95L, or disturbance 1, as it is marked here. You can see it's becoming a little bit more organized here. Throughout the morning, we've seen this progression from more of a line of storms, much more into that comma shape, starting to close that circulation, starting to wrap up a little bit more. And it's also important to note this is a non-tropical low. This is situated on a frontal boundary, which does mean that if it does attain tropical storm characteristics quickly enough, this would actually be a subtropical storm, as it is fully not within those tropical characteristics. It still has those frontal features. You can see it's kind of elongated from north to south because it is still placed along a stationary front. If it does attain any sort of tropical characteristics, then yes, there's a chance, once again a medium chance, that this does earn a name. Dexter is the next name on the list, and this is not a concern for the U.S. This is moving away from the coast. The only impacts from this would be the potential for higher than usual rip currents or high surf in areas north and west of the actual system itself. But once again, not much of a concern to the U.S. and definitely not a concern at all for us here in South Mississippi. Over to disturbance number 2, low chance of development, and you can actually kind of see it there on satellite. It's not very obvious, so let's go ahead and draw it out for you here. Notice this line of moisture. This is an infrared satellite, so this is detecting the temperature of the cloud tops, and you can kind of see here we have a couple of cold cloud tops. That does mean that there's activity. There's clouds that are building up quickly, and you can see how they're situated sort of in a straight line here. That is what we call a tropical wave, and this is expected to emerge off the coast of Africa here within about the next 24 hours, and as it does so, it will continue to move out and up towards the central tropical Atlantic, and waters are very warm. Tropical waves take their time. They move very slowly across the Atlantic, but there is a low chance that it has the right conditions, especially out in this area, out ahead of where it's at, where it's moving towards. There are conditions that are favorable for further development of the wave. The wave can eventually further develop into a tropical depression. So that's why it's marked as a low chance of development. It's very far down the road. It'll take several days to actually get out into the area where conditions are favorable. So that's just something we want to keep an eye on. Once again, not really a concern for the U.S. as a whole right now, but definitely something to watch since it is moving generally to the north and west from its current location there on the African coast. But of course, we are entering the more active period of hurricane season. Most activity of hurricane season occurs between mid-August and mid-October. So we are moving into a more active period, and we can definitely see that when looking out there. There's several tropical waves, only one of which expected to develop, but at least this one starting to show signs of development, kind of that early indicator that we may start to see a little bit more activity coming off the Africa coast in the days and weeks to come. Looking at the name list, of course, we've only had 3 names so far, all 3 of which were tropical storms: Andrea, Barry, and Chantel. Next names on the list would be Dexter and Aaron. And looking at the 7-day forecast, things, well, a little bit rainy here in South Mississippi over the next couple of days. Hit or miss showers and storms becoming a little bit more numerous as we move into the front half of the week. Back half of the week, we warm right back up into the low 90s. Heat index values in the triple digits. Rain chances falling, but we still can't rule out scattered to widespread showers and storms, especially during those hot afternoon hours.